Kamala or Trump?
You know, I spent most of my life raised as a Republican, very conservative, and kind of shed that somewhere along the way. Although it's not still in my bones. I thought that Trump was a different Trump when he came out initially, you know, back at in this first round. I have not seen much since then, but I will say that what I grew up with is not exactly the way I vote now. So I'm a woman and I am a fine feminist, so I love to see her doing her thing.
Trump or Kamala?
Kamala.
If you could spend the day with her, what would you do?
Have coffee and chat about her policies and what she sees moving forward, because I think she's brilliant.
If you could spend the day with Trump, what would you do?
You know what, I would try to find out why he feels like he can't be an honest person and he has to lie about everything. He probably could be a nice guy. I don't know why he chooses not to be.
Kamala or Trump?
I'd say Kamala.
And why?
All the things Trump has been involved in, it's like, it doesn't make me comfortable as like a black woman living in this world, especially like how comfortable a lot of his supporters can get at times with like targeting communities that don't get like a lot of representation. It makes people like scared and not feel safe. And then also with some of like his regulations and like policies. Kamala, she's a black woman, although some of her policies I don't associate myself with or like believe in, but it's a better choice. That's all I can say.
Kamala or Trump?
Kamala.
And why is that?
Well, she has some grips. Just look at world politics. I think she has much more rational than Trump.
Anything that stands out to you that you're like, yeah.
Listening to people and not just self-impose yourself on what you think is good. I think that's what democracy is all about.
Are there any like specific points that Kamala had during that debate where you're like, yes, she made a good point, I trust her with it?
Well, she wasn't nuts. I mean, you know, she didn't start talking about conspiracy theories. I mean, I'm not a woman, but her position on women's choice for their own bodies makes sense to me. I don't trust anything that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth, really. It's like a really basic human thing. Can you trust somebody or not? And you can't trust him. That's my personal view, looking from the outside in.
And who do you trust more, Kamala or Trump?
It's hard to say. I don't know either one of them personally. But as far as how they're representing themselves, I trust her more to think rationally and maybe hire better people around her that are smarter than her or just as smart as her to, affect the country by committee. So, yeah, Kamala.
Who do you think won the recent debate, Kamala or Trump?
Kamala.
Who do you trust more, Kamala or Trump?
Kamala.
And why?
Because she's a baddie.
Kamala or Trump?
Definitely Kamala.
And what are your thoughts on her?
I think there's more promise for the future, and Kamala's the obvious choice because with Trump, he's trying to stop all immigration, even the legit ones, unfortunately, so it's quite unfair, you know.
Who do you think won the debate, Kamala or Trump?
Kamala Harris. She was more firm, she was more clear, she was concise, she was more eloquent, she baited him, he fell for it. If you get triggered by something that your opponent specifically put there to trigger you and you're a professional politician, you lost the debate.
Any policies that stood out to you?
This one's kind of close to my heart. I'm an immigrant. I've only been in the U.S. For 5 years. What I want some people here to understand, this election is a lot bigger than right, left. The stakes in November are really high, and you should all be very careful where you put that trust. If I could vote, I'd vote for Kamala.
Who do you think won the debate, Kamala or Trump?
Kamala, just based on the amount of misinformation that Trump gave.
Who do you trust more?
Kamala. I think just in comparison to the previous candidates, she just seems so normal and realistic.
If Trump wins, it's going to be about revenge, and if Kamala wins, it's going to be about doing what she's told to do. Right now, I'm not leaning toward either one of them.
They're that bad.
That's just that bad, my friend. Trump is going to spend the majority of his presidency on the golf course playing golf and getting revenge. How is that going to help the American people? See, business will never mix with politics. I don't care how you try to twist it, bend it, or do it, it ain't going to mix.
What would you say to Kamala?
This is a perfect example of somebody that's getting an opportunity and ain't prepared.
How do we stop the hate?
Talking to each other and stop talking at each other. Nobody's perfect, my man.
Trump or Kamala?
You know darn well I'm not voting for Trump.
Why are you not voting for Trump?
Why would I? People are voting for him because they say he's good with business, but he's a failed businessman. He is a dictator. You don't have to win to be a dictator. If you got people storming the Capitol, you're a dictator. If you got people breathing hatred in small towns like Ohio and stuff like that, that's a dictator. If you got people saying lock her up, that's a dictator.